What's up? We're Team MBL. I'm Musicbylukas.
And Lauren C. Ray, DJ video creator and DJ producer. And today we got a very special guest.
Yeah.
Matt Nash.
Matt Nash is
What's up,
here.
guys?
Where's the Hexagonians at?
Yeah, I just released a track last week.
Nice.
It won't be last week, right?
Yeah.
Technically.
But when this was on Hexagon, which is a track that called Belong.
Yeah.
That features my dog on
Yeah.
the artwork.
Nice.
And the video, which may or may not be out by the time this video comes out.
You never know.
You never know.
If it is, links below.
Yeah, obviously.
The links for Matt, of course, will all be below.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
I like your specific style of Future House.
Yeah.
It's very noticeable as soon as you hear it, you know this is Matt Nash.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because Future House has really expanded and,
Yeah.
and you have stuff like the old stuff like the Oliver Heldens Gecko.
It's
like
getting
the
like
roots.
subgenres now.
Yeah.
It's like subgenres over subgenres.
Yes.
Future trance.
Yeah,
For
this is
instance.
it. So like someone told me my music was future trance. And I was like, I consider my music future progressive.
Yes.
Because I used to make more progressive house and
Yeah.
kind of feel like that's where it is.
I think so too.
Yeah, so I don't know, is there any others?
My thing is, I think it's all great because it all just leads to the evolution of something.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing is that
Definitely.
you're always creating change and you're always pushing for something else. So maybe the people who aren't producers don't know what your subgenre is, and that's fine too. Like, who even cares? That's why genres don't really matter.
Yeah.
It's all about just if people feel the connection to your music.
We are technically not in the UK, although Matt is British.
Yeah.
We are actually in the Netherlands because
That's
he moved here. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of you guys always ask or say, I'm gonna move to Amsterdam. Obviously I have to be there. If I'm gonna be a DJ or producer, you gotta be in the Netherlands. But I mean, you did it. Do you really
Yeah.
think that's true? Or why did you do it?
I think that like obviously where you come from and how much music scene is there is a really important thing. So my type of music, like generally sort of all of EDM as a whole, it doesn't really exist in the UK. There's like only like 3 dance music festivals there that happen across the year. Like the UK is really hardcore into like techno and tech house, like an insane, like their daytime radio is tech house, right? So like there isn't really many events in the UK that I can play. So if you come over to the Netherlands, there's like, you know, 1,000 festivals across the year. It's like absolutely crazy. And because a lot of those festivals are smaller, there's a lot more opportunities for, you know, upcoming producers to find spots and find places to play. And there's a lot more labels here, your Spinnings, your Armadas,
Right.
your Hexagon, they're all based here in the Netherlands. So there's more of a scene there, I
But
guess.
you could technically, because the UK is so close here, you could
Yeah,
take an
you-
easy jet or you could take the train.
It's so cheap.
Is it just convenience? Like you were like,
Yeah.
I want to be able to drive, or I want to be able to.
I think like obviously being in the country, it's easier to like meet people like randomly in the music industry.
True.
Like you go to, you know, an event that's for the music industry and you bump into people.
and you're like, I live here.
Yeah, and it's not really like a defining factor though. I think like it's not going to be your like, okay, cool, you're not going to make it because you're from
Right.
Spain or the UK or whatever. Like, I think it's just a convenience thing, but it wasn't my only reason for moving.
Yeah.
You know, I also have a girlfriend that's Dutch, so it was kind of like
Hey.
Guys.
a half and a half thing, you know.
The real secret to the industry is you also have to have a girlfriend that's
Yeah,
That's how you have success.
that's how you do it.
So would you say it was more, if you had to like say an advantage of living here, would you say it's more for the DJ scene, the shows? Or
Yeah, I think it's hard to say like one definitive thing. I've
Yeah.
definitely played more Dutch festivals since living here.
Okay.
Um,
Is that like your manager, whoever is speaking to the booking agents, are like, he lives here, he can do it now? Or do you think it was more of it's just the opportunity came about because you were here?
Yeah, I think like an opportunity does come about, but equally like, you know, when you're like earlier days, you know, you could just play that festival for free, or like you don't have to fly in, they don't have to pay
Okay.
flights, you know, it's just a little bit easier, you know.
Gotcha.
That's why I think it's quite easier for like Dutch guys to come up a little bit quicker.
Okay.
And there's also, they're very tightly knit here, you know, like
Yeah.
they'll help a brother out is you know, which is nice.
It's nice because also if you're not from the Netherlands, you can get to know a lot of people in the industry through social media and everybody knows each
Yeah.
other. Like a lot of people think EDM market is super oversaturated and there's just, but it's like really, it's if you really look at it, it's a small family.
It's very small.
Everybody
scene,
knows
yeah.
each other.
They really do. So, you know, it can be a benefit, but I wouldn't say it's like defining factor. If you live in a different country, you're screwed.
Yeah,
It doesn't
definitely
matter.
not. Because we started, obviously, if you guys know, if you were at Dance Fair, we started everything not from being in the Netherlands. And
Yeah.
we definitely come here for events and everything, but we don't live here.
Yeah.
And, you know, the big part of it is done through social media. That's the main thing, is just
Yeah.
getting in contact with people.
Definitely.
But if you are in the EDM industry, you probably will, whether it's on social media or in person, be talking to a lot of Dutch people.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've been in the industry for a while.
Yeah.
We were talking about how you've already been through like a few managers and stuff like that. How would you say, for somebody who's starting out, if somebody's watching this right now and they're looking to make that next step, they've, you know, been released on a few labels or whatever, would you say to go try to find a manager, or when do you think it's the right time to find a manager?
I think it's the right time to find a manager when you can't handle the workload you have.
Okay.
So if there's more things that, you know, if you're doing your stuff and you're like swamped and you need someone there to be helping you, but also a manager who can bring something to what you're doing, help you, like maybe you're not good at negotiating contracts.
Yeah.
Maybe you need someone to, you know, start working with booking agents for you, things like that. But I think, you know, given how easy it is to learn with the internet, you can learn a lot of this stuff. You know?
Yeah.
You can learn everything you need to be really fast. Some artists I know that are my size and bigger don't have managers, and they do a great job. I don't think it's a defining thing. I do think it's better when they come to you, you know, and express their interest.
Yeah, because then you really know that they would be dedicated to you. They're interested in you,
exactly.
obviously.
I think that's a really important thing, but now you can do so much without it.
I think it's really important to not treat a manager like a box you need to check on your list of how to be a DJ, because a lot of people do that and they look for a manager or a booking agent so early on before they even have a track signed. And there's multiple issues to that. One is, like Matt's saying, you're never going to learn how to do those things yourself. So whoever's in charge of you, like whoever the manager is going to have all these things that they're doing that you don't really have any say in, that you don't really know about. So you really want to be more involved in that. You really want to have like a better aspect on these things. And then also you might not get the best manager if you look too early, or the best booking agent, or the best deal, or the best contract. Because if you're bigger, you can negotiate, you can come at it. But it really is about, do they need you more than you need them, or do you need them more than they need you?
So if anybody who's watching actually has a manager right now, what would you say is a great tip to be able to work well with your manager? Like, what's the do's and don'ts, basically?
Oh, it's tough because every relationship's going to be different.
Yeah, true.
You know, every manager, so some manager might be really full on, might be running their social media. Some, with my manager, I run all my social media. Some people, you know, it's different for everyone. It's just, it's personal preference, you know. I think some artists are really involved with every aspect, and some artists are more focused on the music and let the business done by their managers. So it's really hard to give a do's or don'ts, but it's like, as long as you communicate with them and you're on the same page, like you both know what each other's doing. You know, I personally wouldn't be comfortable with a manager making decisions on my behalf. Like I would expect my manager, if it's important for him to reach out to me and say, oh, you know, this deal with spinning, whatever, this is 60-40 and we should really get 50-50 or whatever, you know, whatever, that sort of stuff. I like to be involved in it personally, so I want to know what's up.
Yeah, and that's why I think, again, it's just so cool that you took that time to be able to learn that stuff, because if you hadn't taken the time to learn that stuff on your own, you wouldn't know 60-40-50, we can actually get that, we can actually get that, I can negotiate here, what that means to negotiate, how you negotiate. So you would be kind of like the manager, be like, let me take care of it, and then you're left out of the loop on your own money, on your own business.
Of course, I think, you know, I think the days of having a manager that runs everything is kind of going, you know, given now that if you want to break through and even get to the point where you have a manager, you have to be like super entrepreneur, running social medias, making this right, everything, you know, you'll probably start off by negotiating your own deals and stuff like that.
It's
so
true.
you know, by the time you get to the point where you're making enough money just to support yourself, and you're looking at getting a manager, you're probably going to be looking for something that's more of like a, you know, a team rather than
team effort,
rather than someone that's coming in and running shit. I think that does happen, but for a few people.
If you are getting a manager, if you have one, good communication right up front, kind of talk about like what you're looking for and stuff is great. Otherwise, if you just go and like nod your head and say yes to everything, and later you realize that you actually didn't really want any of that, it might be tough, because they're going to be like, coming into this relationship, it seemed like you would let me do this or do that. So maybe just right up front be like, I'm kind of comfortable with doing this. And if you do, like they said, kind of do it yourself at first, you're going to know what you like and what you don't like about the whole manager thing, I would think.
Yeah, totally.
Just to young producers, what's like your biggest tip or biggest tips that you would give them on what they should be doing right now?
I think musically, because we can break it down a little bit. Musically, I'd say just finish tracks. It's so easy to get stuck on just like, okay, cool, this idea, I don't like it anymore. Or just get the tracks done. By the time you've made like 100 tracks, you're gonna be doing some good shit.
Especially if you know how to finish them, because that's really where you learn arrangement and how to like, and once you get that down, you're gonna finish, like once you finish your first track, you're gonna finish the second one faster, the third one faster, and then you become a machine. Yeah,
and I even think like, even now, once I finish, I've been doing this 10 years, even once I finish a track now, I'll learn something, and then on the next one, I wouldn't say it gets easier though. I think that's, it gets easier to like know what you need, but I always had the illusion when I was a younger producer that it would get easier as you get more experience, but I think it just stays the same.
Maybe because you're always searching for more and always trying to develop.
You're always searching for that level up.
Yeah, because to me the whole thing is just, I think the easier part comes from just even knowing how to finish a track. Like, knowing what that it needs. Like a lot of people don't even know like what the difference between an original mix and a radio edit is, what that means. And so it's like little things like that I think once you get those down, at least you'll have the vision. But yeah, like you're saying, the music industry does progress rapidly anyway. It's gonna get, it's always gonna be a thing to finish them regardless.
Totally. I think on the other side, just network a lot and meet a lot of other producers, because it's nice to have friends that are trying to do the same thing as you, so you can keep each other motivated and, help each other out, there's a great scene there. There's a lot of people trying to do the same thing. So network with people and really, really invest time in your social media and growing that aspect, because, the more fans you get, the more you're going to enjoy it, because, when you start putting tunes out and you have people that know of a lot of your last releases, it's such a good feeling, because they're your biggest fans. They're just going to be into it straight away. They're going to love it.
And networking like truly as, because they might ask like how to network, like networking truly as a friend, because like I think a lot of producers think the only way to network is to ask to collab, but like when we started talking, I never DM'd you. I still haven't. I've been like, collab, bro. And because the thing is, and we always say this, is that if you both work in music, then the conversation of music will come up eventually.
Totally.
You don't have to push it or
I think it's kind of like, it's too easy just to hit someone up and just like, I'll call that, bro. It's kind of like, for me, it's like the worst thing. I just want to be friends with other people that are producing the music, just so we like the same. We talk about plugins and we talk about music industry. We talk about how you run Instagram, stuff like that. You know, collab is just like one tiny part of what it is. So,
and you might actually, because you might think, oh, I would benefit a lot from collabing with this person. You might also benefit a lot from talking about social media with them, helping them, maybe you build a Discord together, maybe you start doing shows together. There's so many things that come out of it.
And like for the mentality side, the mental health side of things, what would you say is like maybe something that helped you get through the hard times or to continue on and get motivated?
I think that the you really got to make sure you don't like we were just saying how you should spend a lot of time on social media, but the flip side is don't spend too much time like comparing yourself with other people, because you're all at different points in your journey. So like what you might be starting out, but you're looking at your friend over there who's like doing a lot of shows, and you're like, why am I not doing a lot of shows? And then it's just not very healthy. You're all at different points in what you're doing. And if you really, really want to do it, just be patient, because it takes a long time.
They say comparison is the death of happiness.
Or the thief of joy.
The thief of joy,
That's the exact
same.
Same thing. This is the American version. The British version.
There it is. That's obviously what it is.
It's so easy to do that though, because no matter how big you get, you always see someone on social media that's bigger than you.
Always. It's horrible.
And
that's why it's like
that's why it never ends.
Exactly. That's why you learn now not to do it, because with each level up, there's always a level up.
There's always a level bigger than you, and there's always going to be,
I guess if you were the biggest, you'd just be worried all day that someone else was going to take over.
Exactly.
Yeah, like PewDiePie versus T-Series.
Oh man.
So I think we learned a lot from you, Matt, because you talked first about like management stuff, which we've never really touched base on this channel. Which
and living in different countries.
Living in different countries, actually moving to the Netherlands.
You're so
and all that.
unique,
You like
Matt.
know what's going on.
Guys.
So
many
good.
topics.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us over.
No, more than welcome.
And being in the vids.
Make sure you head over to the Discord after party, because we're going to be on there answering questions and listening some sick tracks. And
don't forget
sure
to subscribe. Yeah.
And we'll
Always
see you soon.
subscribing.
Yeah.
Always subscribing.
Bye.
See you guys.